Hi guys, Zach here with another Command & Conquer Red Alert video. In this video, I'm doing a troll game on the map Frost Bitten. I'm starting in the bottom middle position, playing as the Soviets. So the rules for this game are a little bit different. Initially, I'm going to be able to build any unit type. The rules are though, each time a player gets knocked out, any units I've built up to that point, any military units, I'm not going to be able to build any more. And obviously I'm going to ban all tanks, as I do in all my games, so there's going to be no mammoth tanks, there's going to be no heavy tanks. So you can see I'm building riflemen now, and what that means is when the first person gets knocked out of the game, I'm not going to be able to build any more riflemen. So I sort of have to like sort of ration my the types of units I can build. So I'm building some grenadiers, so that's also going to mean that I'm not going to be able to build any grenadiers because I want to defend against these red infantry early on. So I've built riflemen, I've built grenadiers. I'm not going to be able to build them after the first person gets eliminated from this game. And it doesn't matter whether I eliminate them or they get eliminated by other opponents, the rules are still the same. These rules don't apply to structures, except for Tesla coils and flame towers. And it also doesn't apply, of course, to all trucks and MCVs. It just applies to military vehicles. So I'm still going to be able to build more MCVs, still be able to build ore trucks when I get to new ore patches. And I have to think about what I'm going to build now. I really want to keep Tesla till later on because Tesla's obviously a very powerful unit and I could really do that with that later on. So I'll probably try and use flame towers if possible early on. And I just need to be very careful of what units I do use because I want to like make sure I have units available later on. So now I'm building that service depot, and that's really important so I can build MCVs, which I'm going to be building quite a lot of quite quickly, hopefully. And now I'm just having a look at my opponent in the bottom left, and this is bad because I can see he's building tanks, and that means that flame towers may not be enough. I do have my second war factory being built, but I might have to go for Tesla coils early, and that's really bad because I wanted to keep Tesla coils till later on in the game, so I could build them against the last opponent because I just know how strong they are. But I just have to be realistic here, and I don't think I'm going to have a choice if I want to be able to defend against this attack. And you can see those tank numbers are starting to build up for my opponent, so I'm going to be starting to build Tesla ASAP. I've got my first MCV out, and I'm just going to take it to the back of my base because I don't want it to be in the first line of fire. But you can see those Tesla coils building painfully slow. And when I get this MCV deployed, that'll half the time it takes to build the Tesla coils, so they'll be able to build a lot quicker now. I also need to make sure I have enough power, so I'm going to be building a large power plant each time I build a Tesla coil. But it's just a case, like a race against time, literally. I need to get enough Tesla coils up so that I can defeat any of these tanks coming in. And the tank force is coming in. And you can see there's quite a large number here. And we'll have to see what they go for first. It looks like they're going for the ore refinery, unfortunately. I don't think I have another one at the moment. But those Tesla coils look like they're going to go down. And I'm going to be able to build another ore refinery at the back of my place. And this is where it would be really useful if I was able to build a flame tower. But I can't use flame towers now because I'm going to need them for later on. But we have got another Tesla out, and they managed to take out all those infantry, thankfully. So I'm going to start building more Tesla. I've got more MCVs out, so my building speed is going to be increased. Unfortunately though, because my ore trucks were stationary for quite a while, I don't have as many resources as I would have liked. But I am building more ore refineries at the back of my base, and just building my economy because I'm going to need to take out this red opponent quite quickly. I can see him continuing to build tanks, so I don't think it'll be too long before he's ready to attack again. So I just need to build up as much as I can before then, and also get more MCVs out so I have a better building speed. You can see me getting these ore refineries all around the back of my base, collecting lots of resources so that I can build more Tesla. And I've got a number of MCVs deployed now, so that's going to increase my building speed. And now I'm just getting some sort of Tesla wall into my base because thankfully there's only a narrow space, and you can see those heavy tanks pulling a little bit further back. And now I'm going to be trying to expand and crawl towards the base. We can see our opponent now is building missile launchers, and they have a better range than Tesla coils, and they also do loads of damage. Now really what I want to use against missile launchers is I want to use flame towers, but I can't use flame towers yet because I'm going to need it for later on if I'm going to be able to beat the other opponents. So I am really limited in what I can use at this point because there are 2 other opponents out on the field that I could potentially have to fight after this, and now we're starting to deploy barracks, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and build lots of units at this point. So we're going to build riflemen to try and take out some of the buildings, especially that construction yard. You can see another heavy power plant goes down there, and we're just using our riflemen to fire. We are getting fired on by those missile launchers though, and you can see that green has been knocked out of the game, and also red has got annoyed with me and also has tapped out of the game. So that means any things I've built at this point I can't rebuild. So I've got Tesla coils which I can't build, and I've got riflemen which I can't build. But anything else is okay. So I can build missile launchers and I can build flame towers. I think those are the main units, and I could build Tanya if I wanted to. So I'm going to move some of my MCVs up, and you can see those cyan light tanks going into my base getting taken out by those Tesla coils, because I can use Tesla coils that I've already built. That's fine, it's just I'm not able to build any more of those, and now I'm just going to be placing some flame towers around my base as well. And now we're just moving that MCV up further to the northwest of my base, and that's just so I can expand to other ore patches, get a better economy going, and every time I deploy an MCV my building speed becomes faster, so I'm going to be able to build those flame towers at a faster rate. And you can see my economy really is thriving, but I just want to keep on expanding so that I don't get caught short anywhere, because at some point I'm going to be able to build missile launchers. And you can see there's only one person left in this game. He's playing as the allies, and that means that he might get whole map visibility because allies have satellite, so he might be able to see exactly what's going on. Now he's attacking my outer base with medium tanks, and that's a good move because he knows I'm building base defences, and those medium tanks are a lot more durable, and I'm going to have a hard time taking them out with flame towers, but slowly but surely I think they're going to be wearing them down. Yeah, you can see when I get multiple ones eventually they do take some sort of effect, but they are a lot less effective than Tesla coils are. So we managed to survive in that top left base so far, and I'm just going to need to expand further out. I'm just getting another ore refinery there because that other one got taken down. And I'm going to be expanding across the top as well because there is a big ore patch up there. I'm also building an extra war factory, which is going to increase the building speed of vehicles and missile launchers if I decide to build them. I'm just making sure I get some power plants as well, because if I get low on power, although flame towers will still work, it will slow the building speed of any units, and that includes structures. And we've also got another MCV up at the top of the, well, sort of the middle of the map here, and we just try and defend each section as much as we can and just get as much map control as possible, just so we get more resources and can build units faster. There's also quite a few gems on the middle part of the map, and it's been a little while since he's attacked me last, so I am wondering, is he building up a big tank force, and is there going to be a big all-out attack coming soon? We'll have to wait and see for that. But these flame towers, just as long as I can get as many as possible, and I do have quite a few, like, just in different parts of my base, so it will wear down the enemy if they do come for an all-out attack. And you can see I've got extra MCVs waiting at home, so I'm going to be able to deploy them and increase my building speed a bit further. And also take MCVs to different parts of the map if they do take out one area of my bases. And I am building missile launchers now. I'll build some here as well. But we can see there's some tanks coming for an attack on this top part of the map, and you can see they're in a bit more force now. He's got some light tanks mixed in there, but I think it's mostly mediums, which is probably a good idea. And we've got some missile launchers being produced there. They might do decent damage, but they do have low HP, and we're just getting as many flame towers down as we can and just hope they do the work. And you can see when he has to go through like tons and tons of flame towers, those tanks do get eventually worn down, and now he's going for one of my construction yards. That's not going to be too much of a problem though, because I have a lot of MCVs left at my own base, and you can see those tanks going down. And I've also got a lot more flame towers there now, so if he does go for another attack, I'm going to have even more flame towers to fight there. But now he's coming from the other side, so he's trying to find another way into my base, maybe a place that's not as well defended. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and expand across the top quite quickly though, and try and put him off there. And if I do it, because if I go on the offensive, it's going to force him to move his tanks to this top part of the map. And I'm doing sort of like a power plant crawl here, and we can see those tanks coming in now, and it's not very well defended, this part of the map currently. And let's see what he goes for. Is he going to go for the construction yard again? I'm just going to lay down as many flame towers as possible at this point in the game. And we can see those tanks being a bit stationary at the moment. I think he might have just like looking at somewhere else on the map possibly, or planning an attack on a different part. But we're just laying down these flame towers, and this is starting to work and take out those tanks. Unfortunately though, he's had decent tank numbers. He's been able to take out a lot of flame towers, but my economy is really working well at the moment. I've got absolutely loads of resources. I don't have to worry too much about how much I spend on units at this point in the game, but I will have to just keep an eye out, of course, as you always do. And now I'm going to build an extra war factory so I can increase the building speed of missile launchers, although you can see my resources were dipping a little bit there. But we're going to be building more missile launchers, and now I'm just having a bit of a look at this gap, and what I've noticed is that there's cruisers in those water areas, so that's going to provide a little bit of a problem because cruisers do so good damage against buildings, and that's going to really put me at a little bit of a disadvantage in that area. I don't know how big that water area is though, and whether it'll be able to reach my base, but what I'm trying to do now is I'm doing a flame tower crawl into the base of Cyan, and we're also going for an attack with missile launchers on the top base as well. So we'll have to see how occupied he is at the bottom base. The problem with these missile launchers is they do really badly in battle. They do decent damage, but they do get taken out quite easily, and you can see those flame towers now taking out that construction yard for Cyan, and it looks like it's definitely going to go down. He doesn't seem to have noticed it quite yet, and he seems to be focused more on the top part of the map. And now I'm going to be building a tech centre, which will allow me to build Tanyas if I need to at any point. But now I'm trying to take these missile launchers. You can see he's replenished some of his tanks, and these tanks are low HP. And you can see just how hard it is for my missile launchers to be able to do decent damage against them. And they are being, like, I'm winning at the moment, but the amount of missile launchers I'm using up to do that is quite ridiculous, and I'll have to be really careful here actually, else my resources won't last forever. And I think I've lost some power there from somewhere. They're probably attacking another area of my base. Might be those cruisers in the water, so I'll have to be careful there. And I'm also next to water at that part at the top of the map, so I'll have to be careful there. So now we're going for a missile launcher attack, and what we're going to do is we're going to go for the buildings and try and snipe those instead of going for the direct tank battles, because the tank battles aren't working out, but you can see against the structures they're a lot more effective. So I'm just going to go through the base now and let's see what we can take out. You can see those tank forces chasing us, and we're just going to run around the base, take out as much as possible, and you can see those buildings going down very, very quickly. He doesn't have much base defences, which would be quite problematic against these missile launchers. We will try to take out other buildings, but I guess pillboxes aren't that powerful. Although they do decent damage actually against missile launchers, because missile launchers have such low HP, and it looks like we've taken out a lot of Cyan's base at the top of the map, and now we're going to other parts of the map to see where his other structures are. It does look like Cyan's struggling quite a bit at this point, and now we're taking out that ore refinery, which is going to go down, and I'm going to have a look at a few other parts of the map. You can see he's trying to take his tanks back, but it might be too little, too late. I think we've taken out most of his bases. I can't see them being many around. You can see his ore trucks have stopped, which tells me that he has no more ore refineries. But these tanks are being a bit problematic because they are so hard to destroy. I'm just wondering whether I have to destroy that bridge or not. But yeah, we can see his ore trucks are moving somewhere, so I don't know where he's managed to build another base. We can see that ore truck now moving to the left of the map, which is where most of my bases are, and now he's moving it back. So I'm just wondering where exactly his remaining bases are. We can see a light tank there at the top of the map, and it could be possibly in the bottom right. We'll just have to investigate that area. But I do think at the moment I can't see Cyan being able to come back from this. And what I'm doing is I'm just taking over his original base areas, and I'm going to be building some more ore refineries, because you can see my economy is starting to shrink now, and that's because some of the ore patches on the map are starting to get used up. And his tanks seem to be taking a lot of damage, and it seems to be on random areas of the map and not doing too much at the moment and not going for an attack on other areas. And I'm just having a bit of a look around, and you can see now he's going for an attack on the top base, which has actually got quite a low number of flame towers at the moment at the front of it, and it looks like he's going for the ore refineries, but we're getting a line of flame towers out, and they should be sufficient hopefully to take those tanks down. He has got one ore refinery and he's going to go for the next, but those tanks are on low HP now. And yeah, I might lose it, but I'm not too bothered. As long as I take out those tanks, I can always build more ore refineries. At this point, I think I know that he doesn't have enough tanks to like take out the whole of my base, so it's not too relevant at this point. But I'm just, yeah, you can just see I'm building a few more ore refineries. I'm taking some MCVs to the top right position to deploy there. And we can see his tanks are still not moving. But what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to take some units out so I can scout some of the areas which are not discovered yet. There's some in the top left and there's some in the bottom right. And we can see there he's got his tech centre. And if we take out that tech centre, that might mean he loses satellite, and now he's tapped out of the game or we destroyed all his structures. So thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed the video.